When we're young, we have an amazing, positive outlook about how great life is going to be, but somewhere along the line, we forget to dream and end up settling. Join Up Dots features amazing people who refuse to give up and chose to go after their dreams. This is your blueprint for greatness. So here's your host, live from the back of his garden in the UK, David Ralph.
Yes, hello there. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the Join Up Dots, the Join Up Dots, the Join Up Dots show. This is David Ralph, the host of the Join Up Dots podcast, the business online coaching, the motivation, the inspiration, the conversation, whatever you want from it, and a little bit of fun, a little bit of stupidity, and hopefully we've got a different type of vibe to most other podcasts out there, because if you do your own thing, then you really feel the swing. And what I'm going to talk about today is a huge disappointment that occurred in my life this week, and how you can overcome any disappointment, right? No matter what you do in life, you are going to have disappointments. And in the entrepreneurial world, you're going to get a lot of them. Now, I get a lot of people that write to me and they say, David, I'd like to start my own business. And I point them over to our free training and I try to help them out. And we do different things and stuff. And more often than not, there's a part of them that are waiting for perfection. They're waiting for the dots to join up, even though the dots are already joining up, because that's what they've been doing. They've been living and they've been creating the dots, but I kind of want this perfection. And this week, I realised that not only does, we always know this, perfection never arises, but it's the ability to overcome the disappointments when you've been working towards something, which is the real game changer. And I think I'm a master at this. I think I'm a master, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you a little story. Now, in Join Up Dots land, for the first few years, I nearly went under. I nearly went under financially. If it wasn't for my other businesses chipping in left, right and centre, I would have done, because I was putting all my time and effort into Join Up Dots and I wasn't getting the rewards. But was I disappointed about it? No, because I knew it was a new business. It was a new venture. So I had to overcome those obstacles, okay? But then I got to a point where money started coming in and it was very nice. It was great. And I started sort of covering my outgoings and my loans and stuff that I had to take to put money into the show. And I got myself into a nice financial position, which was all good, okay? So that was the first kind of level, I suppose, where it was, survival, keeping the lights on. The whole podcast, unlike many people who podcast, not many people make money from doing these things, but I started to do that. Now I'm to a point where my money is growing exponentially, and certainly from August last year when I came back from Florida, things have moved on at a pace, and I've got several coaching contracts across the world. And people are coming to me for my breakthrough days when I will sit with you for a whole day looking at your issues and finding a way through to the life you want. And pretty much 8 hours a day, I will sit with you on Skype or on Zoom and we will work through. Now, I haven't advertised that, but I'm going to be advertising it soon. But I was on for a contract which was a 6-figure plus contract. And it was for a Fortune 500 company in New York City. Well, not New York City, in Brooklyn. I've never actually been to Brooklyn, but it sounds nice, other side of Manhattan. And this company came through to me and inquired about my coaching, my mindset coaching, and they were inspired by my positive vibe that I demonstrated on the show every day, and they felt that their team's morale, and it was multiple teams, could do with a bit of the Join Up Dots magic in real life. Now, I used to do this kind of thing many years ago. I used to do stand-up training and coaching, but I haven't done it for a while. And there's a little bit of you that when somebody comes through to you, you think, oh God, I don't know if I want this, or if I don't know how to do it. So I've been doing little bits here, there and everywhere. But this was a big one. And as I say, this was going to be probably my biggest win, all in one go. Well, it would be. It'd be my biggest win all in one go, I think, from one person. I've had similar 6-figure wins, but that was made up with multiple clients. This was just one. And I pitched to the vice president of this company, first of all, and lovely man, and although I do think in America, I think everyone's a vice president. It seems to be that no matter who you speak to, you become a vice president before you become anything else. So it doesn't matter. In the United Kingdom, you could be in a company for 30 years and they still think that you're an idiot. Over there, you walk into the door and you go, right, I'm here to empty the bins. You're the vice president of bin. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna make sausage rolls every morning. You are the vice president of sausage rolls. And so I spoke to this person, and very nice they were too, and they was impressed by me. So I got put through to another person, and I went through to about 4 interviews online until I got to the director of the company, or the owner of the company. And I spoke to them, and I thought it went really well as well, and they seemed to be really enthused. And they said they would get back to me within 5 days. Well, 5 days didn't, and then another 10 days went along, and I was thinking, should I chase them up? Should I not? Chasing them up, does it sound like I'm too eager? If I'm not too eager, does it not sound like I'm infused by it? You know, it was all those kind of thoughts going through my head. And all the time I was thinking to myself, oh, if I get this is going to be great, because it would just give me such freedom in my life for a whole year. I can do all the other stuff I'm doing, but I won't have that hassle. I've got that nice lump sum coming to me. And then I started to think, no, I won't do that. I will buy a place down in Spain. And so at the weekends, I can fly down with my family from our local airport, and I can be down there in a couple of hours Friday evening, and we come back on Sunday, or long weeks or whatever. And that's going to be great. My life's going to be brilliant. And I could have a pool down there, and I can walk around in my thong and my flip-flops, and everything would be amazing. So I started to project forward to how my life was going to be. Now, I found out, because I did chase them up, and they came back to me and they said, actually, you got down to the last 2. Thank you very much. But no, we're going to go with somebody from the American states themselves. They wanted somebody in Trump land to do for them. And I was disappointed. Of course, I was disappointed. But fortunately, I have a little mindset mechanism, a little internal coaching that I use in these situations. And I won't allow the disappointment to last more than 2 minutes. I basically know that although I am disappointed about my future, my perceived fantasy life, where I was heading, being taken away from me. Because my life actually didn't change at all. My life is exactly the same as it was before the news came to me. So I get the news, and then 2 seconds later, or 1 second later, I'm in exactly the same position as I was 2 seconds beforehand. So in 4 seconds, my life has not changed at all. So why should I drag around the disappointment, the news with me? Great life, great income, lovely clients, lovely friends across the world. Everything is great in my life, except this thing has been taken away from me. And I started to think, this is interesting, David. How many people out there in Join Up Dots land actually work really hard for something? It's like when you study hard for your exams when you're at school, and when you get the results back, you haven't done as well as you thought you would. Disappointment abounds, and of course it does. But then what can you do? You can go and take the exams again and hopefully pass. And just, it just slows down your progress a little bit. It doesn't really make a lot of difference in the great scheme of things. Or when you pluck up the courage to ask that person that you fancy out on a date, and they look at you and say, am I desperate? Well, it might be a mega disappointment, but once again, it's not gonna change your life. You'll just walk back to your seat and think, okay, she wasn't right, or he wasn't right for me. And actually, she was a little bit rude. I actually said that to somebody. That's why I said those words. When I was at school or college, we went to a party in a school hall. And all the men were standing around, or all the boys, and with their bum fluff on the chin, as we call it in the United Kingdom. I don't know what the world calls it, but you know that stage when the guys are just starting to sprout a few hairs, but it's nowhere near what you would class as a beard. And basically, I'm coming up to 50 and I'm still in a similar state. But I said to him, why don't you go and ask Karen out? You know you want to. And he said, no. What happens if she says no? And I said, what's worse can happen? What's the worst can happen? No will not kill you. No is as bad as it's going to get. Well, he went over to Karen, and she turned around and said, do I have desperate on my forehead? Which actually is a lot worse than no. because not only was it a no, it was a kick in the happy sacks as well. And he came back, and he was a shrunken individual for a while. It really affected him. But it hasn't changed his life, and I'm sure that kid, wherever he is now, he's probably married with a supermodel. And so who needs Karen? It was a disappointment at that time, but he's moved on. So how many times do you get that disappointment in your life when you think, oh, God, I so needed that? And do you ever actually go, well, actually, it's made not a blind bit of difference. I'm still sitting in the same spot. I've still got the same money in the bank account. I've still got the same family. I've got the same home. I've got the same job. Everything has not changed. So what am I disappointed about? I was disappointed about a fantasy life that I had projected. I was disappointed that I couldn't get to where I wanted to quicker. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to get it. It just means it's a temporary setback. And I do think in entrepreneurial world, you've got to have that mindset of being able to go, okay, didn't work. Let's learn from it. Let's move forward. Let's swing again. And if you swing and you miss, you're still building up muscles in your arm. You're still giving it a go. And the more you swing, every now and again, you're going to hit that home run and it's going to fly out. But you're only going to get that if you're willing to accept the disappointments. And I sense a lot of times when I speak to people, I do a lot of coaching now, and we are really developing that side of the business. And it wasn't something that I really wanted to do, but it's something that I'm really enjoying now. And people almost want to have a perfected plan handed to them. And I can work with them through mindset. I can work with them through building a business, building traffic, building everything they want. But I can't do it for them. And they almost want to have it handed to them because they don't want the disappointment. They don't want to do something and find out it doesn't work. And they don't want to do something and then find out it's going to take them longer. They want to protect themselves. And you just can't protect yourselves in this life. You just can't. You've just got to keep on moving forward and going for it. And please do that. Please do that. And, drop me a line. I've had some emails this week. I haven't had many since the new year, but this week we've had a few, which is great. And it's really good because I can sort of bring them into podcast episodes, and then you know that the world is exactly the same as you. Looking for that life that's already within you. The dots are joining up. You've just got to join those dots up and go for it, and you can do anything you want. But the one thing that you can't do is feel disappointment because you're just disappointed about a fantasy life that actually wasn't ever going to be there. It just wasn't there. Whatever in your mind, even if you had that success, it doesn't mean that is going to be what you get. Just live in the now, live in the present, and keep on moving forward. Until next time, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Join Up Dots. I will be back again with some interviews next week. We're coming up to the 5th year anniversary, as I say, and we got a lot of good things taking place. But more importantly, is our ability to actually impact your lives and help you guys move forward to where you want to be. Until next time, I will see you again. Look after yourselves. Cheers and bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. And we'll be back again real soon. Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots. Join Up Dots.